Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you guys my Sylvan Yugioh deck profile for April 2018. I've been actually wanting to bring you guys this deck for a while now, and big shout out to go to my girlfriend Marissa, because she actually was the one that completed this deck through trades at locals, ordering the rest of the stuff online, as you guys saw from the last episode of Kira Mail. Got it all together. I don't think I've actually done an update to this deck since Link format started, but still a very, very fun deck. In total, with a lot of cool plant moves and exceed moves and a bunch of added stuff with Link being a thing now. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off with Sylvan monsters, 3 Sylvan Martial Leaf. For those of you that don't know about Sylvans have different effects, whether they're summoned or if they have a once per turn effect, and they also have an effect when they are excavated from the deck. So when this card is normal summoned, you can choose either 1 or 2, then excavate that many cards from the top of your deck, send any excavated plant type monsters to the graveyard, then also place the other cards in the bottom of your deck in any order. If this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one monster on the field, destroy that target. So basically, he's good for the normal summon setup because he gives you the option of 1 or 2, which most of the time I always hit 2 because then I'll most of the time guarantee hit a Sylvan monster. But his pop effect comes in very handy for getting over pesky monsters, and if you don't really want to swing into them and attack and save your attacks for your bigger plant monsters, he's the great target for excavating, which is why I like to run 3. Not really a bad card whether you draw or excavate him in any situation. And also 3 Sylvan Komushrumo. With this one, when it is flip face up, you can choose a number between 1 and 5, then excavate that many cards from the top of your deck. Send any plants, and then also place the other ones on the bottom of the deck in any order. If this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you target one spell or trap on the field, destroy it. So he's good first turn setup if you don't really have any other plays to go into for that set. And then if your opponent swings into him and 5 excavations, means you're hitting a good potential of Sylvan monsters to get off some other additional effects like Martial Leaf, or other ones too like Peacekeeper that can really get off your special summons fast and going. Plus that 2000 defense is a pretty good wall depending on if your opponent just normal summons and swings. But like I said, the spell and trap effect also complements Martial Leaf pretty well, since you have the monster destruction and the spell and trap destruction. So 3 ups for both of them. And the same with the Hermit Tree. With this one, once per turn, you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is a plant monster, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, draw 1 card. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of your deck. If this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, and then place them on the top of the deck in any order. So with his excavate effect, he's good for setup. But other than that, very easy to get onto the field if you use cards like Lonefire Blossom. You don't really need to tribute summon this guy out. Just as long as you get Lonefire Blossom early game, you can get him out to the field and start setting up your deck for plant monsters, and hopefully with that excavation effect, getting off some draw and hand consistency as well. And also 3 Sylvan Sage Akoya. With this one, when a Sylvan monster is sent to the graveyard except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and once per turn, you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a plant type monster, send it to the graveyard, otherwise place on the bottom of your deck. If this card is excavated and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target 1 Sylvan spell or trap in your graveyard, add to your hand. So the excavation effect is good for grabbing cards like Sylvan Charity to reuse, which really help with your draw power, but the easy special summon when you use other ones to the field means you get a 2600 attack point monster on the field that you can make use of, which comes in handy a lot with this deck, since Field Swarm is a big basis of how this deck runs. And also 2 Sylvan Peacekeepers. Originally did have this at 3, but dropped it down to 2 just because you have better targets for the excavation, and you really want him more for the own excavation effect, which you can set up with cards like Hermitry. But basically with this, when it's normal summon, you can excavate, or normal summon or special summon, so remember that. You can excavate the top card of your deck, and then basically the same plant routine after that. But when he's sent, you can special summon a level 4 or lower plant type monster in your graveyard to the field. So basically, if you excavate him, that effect will activate, and you can even summon himself off of that effect and then do another excavation with his own ability. Or you can grab any other plant monster that's level 4 or lower in your graveyard, and basically you need more for that situation than him. But easy setup. like I said, and sometimes it's just dangerous to leave him out and attack. But if you have like Link monsters like Link Karibo or something like that, that can definitely help out with the deck. I don't have Link Karibo myself in the extra deck just because I don't have one, but I'll show you later on in the video what to take out if you wanted to play that card. And then one Princess Sprout. This card is good because it helps with your big Exceed summons by adjusting its level for other Sylvan monsters to match up. So can't go wrong there. Plus with this level 1 and this level 1 helps also with the Princess Sprite Exceed as well if you want to make it and set up for your excavation plays. And then that's it for the Sylvan monsters. For the non-ones, I run 2 Rose Lover. This is another easy special summon effect from the hand if you open up with cards like Hermit Tree. All you have to do is banish this card from your graveyard, and you special summon 1 plant from your hand. And if you do, it's unaffected by your opponent's trap effects. On this turn, you can only use this effect once per turn. But this is why I run cards like not Soul Charge. I do run Soul Charge, but Foolish Burial. So you can send it to the graveyard, then have that banish effect to get Hermit Tree on the field as fast as you can. If the Lone Fire Blossom play doesn't work out too well, and like I said, end up drawing into the Hermit Tree. Plus also 1 Spore, easy special summon with this deck, can't go wrong with it. 2 Rose Archer, basically the hand trap of the deck. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a trap card while you control a plant type monster, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. Like I said, more protection, because with big plays like that, the thing you have to watch out for the most are the traps that your opponent's going to try and activate to stop your plays from going off. And one of the most important ones for your setup is 3 Lone Fire Blossom. It just is way too good, especially if you open up Soul Charge as well, because that just means you have a huge field spam play that you can make use of with the deck, attributing the 3, Soul Charging them back, and then reusing them to get a lot of monsters out on the field. Also 1 Glow Bulb, it's another foolish target if you want the special summon, helps with Synchro summoning as well. All of the plants just work so well together for synergy in the deck. And lastly, for monsters, 1 Rose Paladin. This is the only non-plant monster I run in the deck, but still very helpful because of its effect to work with plant monsters. When it destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you contribute this card to special summon 1 plant monster from your hand or deck in defense. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 level 7 or higher plant type monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. But once again, amazing setup. I run 1 Reinforcements to the army just so I can search this card out and make use of it as fast as I can, because that 1800 attack means that you can destroy some monsters pretty easily by battle as well with this card and make full use of it potentially. And that's it for the monsters. Moving on to spells, I run 3 Sylvan Charity. Best spell card in the deck. It is literally, as the name says, the graceful charity for the deck. You draw 3 cards. If you have a Sylvan card in your hand, reveal 2 cards from your hand, including at least 1 Sylvan card, then place them on the top of your deck in any order. Otherwise, reveal your entire hand, then place it on the top of the deck in any order. You can only activate 1 Sylvan Charity per turn. But the draw power sets up your deck for excavation, grabs you a Sylvan you necessarily need in your hand, puts the ones you don't back to your deck. It is that setup that just helps so much with any hand that you really open up. If you can't make anything of it, draw 3 cards and then set it up to be better. Also, 2 Mount Sylvania. I feel you only need 2 of this in the deck because it's not really that kind of card where you benefit from it as a whole. It's more of, like it's on the field and it's there to help you, but opening up too many of it or excavating too many of it will definitely hurt the deck, and you don't want that. So only 2 of it. Like I said, it sets up your excavation plays in the end of your opponent's turn for that send effect. So definitely good to have it in the deck, but not too many of them. And I have 2 Miracle Fertilizer in the deck. I'll show you what I might want to take out for 3 at the end of the spells, but just 2. It helps for special summoning. You can't normal summon, but it's not really too big of a problem when you get out bigger monsters, obviously, with this card. And also the 1 Soul Charge, with the Lone Fire, is too strong, plus with all the plants you're sending to the graveyard, you can swarm your field and fill it up most of the time with this card really early in the game. Definitely be worth it. And 1 Foolish Burial for cards like the Rose Lover and the Glow Bulb. And also the Reinforcements of the Army. Now this card is for the Rose Paladin, obviously, being the warrior type. But if you wanted to take this out for the Miracle Fertilizer, you can try that as well. It's one of the options, just so you can run the 3 for the special if you want to just rely on opening up the Paladin yourself and not having to search it out. And also 1 Mark of the Rose. This could be another option to put in a 3rd Miracle Fertilizer if you wanted, but I do like it for the banish and then taking important cards from your opponent, especially if you take one of their link monsters and their arrows work out for you, having, you know, left and right arrows to point, meaning you get more extra deck options as well, which is very easy to make in this deck. And also the 1-for-1 for cards like Peacekeeper, Glow Bulb, depending on what you need, Princess, Sprout, you name it. Very, very good in the deck. But like I said, the Mark of the Rose and the reinforcements would definitely be my options for that. But other than that, all the cards are definitely needed for the deck. But to wrap up the main deck with the traps, to mistake. Now, a big thing about this deck, if played right, you don't really need to add too many cards from your deck to your hand since you rely on the excavation plays. So having this opening up can really shut down your opponent, which is why I like to run this card. And the 1 Sylvan Blessing, you place 1 card from your hand on either the top or bottom of your deck, and if you do special summon 1 Sylvan monster from your hand or graveyard, it is unaffected by other card effects this turn, and then place it either on the top or bottom of the deck during the end phase. So, basically another easy special summon play to use with the deck. Just a 1 card tech Sylvan card that I like to run. Excuse me. But that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra. 1 Sylvan Princess Sprite. This is easy Exceed play you can make, plus it's a Sylvan monster with a great excavation effect, so you can't go wrong with this card in the deck. And then for your bigger monsters, 1 Alsay. For the ranks you can make with Hermitry, Araya with Sage Akoya. You can also use Princess Sprout with all 3 of these, which I find great. Normal Exceed with this, but then you can also adjust her levels with the other 2 if you want for your plays. And also for generics, number 23. Excuse me about the cough. Once you start coughing, you really have to just cough 1 more time to get it completely out of your throat. But the Heretic Heliopolis and the number 23. Just more generic, you know, Exceed monsters to make with the deck. Same with the Big Eye. If you wanted to take out the Lancelot and put in Dracosac, you could do that as well. It's more of just personal preference, but Dracosac definitely does help with its own ability in the deck. And then for the Synchros, 1 Formula Synchron, 1 Black Rose, 1 Haster, 1 Omega, and 1 Queen of Thorns. I just like having, you know, the different level options, obviously, as the biggest thing in the deck for what you can make. And then for the Link monsters, for the big guy, 1 Borreload. You can, you know, swarm the field with a lot of lower attack monsters. So having this as an option to go into definitely helps. Same with Decode Talker, Proxy Dragon, and Underclock Taker. But if I had the Link Karibo, I would take out the Proxy Dragon just because it's a better Link 1 option to have in the deck, obviously, with all the level 1s that we run. But yeah, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, Kira Twig out.